So I've started the recording,
Yes, sir.
and before we proceed, there are one or
Mhm.
two important concepts that you need to know, so that we can. There are two branches.
Mhm.
Uh, there are two main branches of astrology. There's
Yes,
another
sir.
one which is mundane. One is
Mhm.
natal. The other one is horary.
Yep. Mhm.
Horary, Prashna Paddhati.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay, horary, and of course the third one is mundane.
Yep. Mhm.
So I'll introduce you to what, and especially in KP,
Yes, sir.
in Krishnamurti Paddhati, Horary is a very, very, that is the most, that is the more, it is the more accurate part. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Let's put it that way. So
Yes,
I'll
sir.
give an introduction to Horary,
Yes,
and
sir.
you have to get the concept, so that, now on when we proceed, we'll be doing natal as well as horary together. How to
Yes.
predict under natal astrology as well as horary.
Yes, sir.
So today I'll give you an insight into what horary astrology and KP is.
Yes, sir. Mhm.
Horary, essentially, horary astrology means, uh, and why the need for horary astrology?
Mhm.
Because the time of birth is a big problem.
Okay. Yep.
Time of birth, accurate time of birth is a big problem. And in fact, in most of the cases, that the horoscopes that we analyze and predict, time of birth may be off, may not be
Mhm.
accurately noted. So
Mhm.
in KP, since there's a lot of precision that is required.
Okay.
So even if the time of birth is off by a few minutes,
Mhm.
then our predictions may come wrong.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because in a few minutes, in 2 minutes to 10 minutes, all the sublords are likely to
Mhm.
change.
Yep.
Okay, not the planetary sublords, but the cuspal sublords.
Yep.
They are
Mhm.
likely to change. Okay,
Mhm.
the smallest sub, as I told you, this we've
Mhm.
already done,
Yep.
is of Sun. Okay,
Mhm. Yes, sir.
Sun and Mars, because they have the Sun has a dasha period of 6 years.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
that is the shortest sub, and the longest is Venus.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
Sun is about, it lasts from about 2 to 3 minutes, and
Mhm.
Venus sub in a cusp will last for about 8 to 9 minutes.
Mhm.
So in 8 to 10 minutes, all the subs are likely to change. Then what happens if we don't have the correct time of birth?
Mhm.
The prediction is likely to go wrong.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Krishnamurti ji, after a lot of research, he invented his horary astrology.
Mhm.
Horary astrology is there in Vedic also, but but not very accurate. Okay, the predictions under horary in Vedic astrology are not as accurate as they are under KP. Let's put
Mhm.
it that way.
Yes, sir.
So a lot of emphasis in KP. In fact, when I am doing predictions, then when I am looking at a chart, then I use the Vedic method. I mix it with KP.
Mhm.
Okay, but if I am suspicious of the time of birth, then I go in for horary.
Okay.
Horary is nothing but or if somebody does not have a birth chart,
Mhm.
then he or she can ask the astrologer a question, a
Mhm.
specific question.
Yes, sir.
Okay? A specific question. And based on that question, the prediction is made.
Mhm.
Suppose the question could be anything like, when will I get married? Okay.
Mhm.
When will I get a job? When
Mhm.
will I buy a house?
Mhm.
Okay. It has to be a specific question, not a
Mhm.
general question like, okay, you tell me about my life, when I'll get married, and then when I'll get a job, and then when will I have, when will I get a promotion? No. This, under this, we have to stick to a specific question only.
Mhm.
And what how what horary is under KP, that we'll study today. So I'm going to uh, share a screen with you. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
let's see. share screen. Now, can you see it?
Yes, sir. It's come up, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now, so this is a write-up on horary astrology or it is called the Prashna Paddhati. Prashna means question.
Yes, sir.
Horary means question astrology, based on a single question. Okay. So horary astrology / Prashna Paddhati in KP.
Yes, sir.
Why I'm reading out, okay? Why
Yes,
horary astrology is required when natal astrology is already there? Okay. The answer to this question could be many, but to put it in short, everyone does not have a horoscope. And even if the horoscopes that are presented for analysis, more often than not, do not have the accurate time of birth, which in KP is of essence for predictions. Okay. In KP, accurate time of birth is required to make correct predictions. So the need for horary, okay. Now even KSK is KS Krishnamurti. In his 6th reader, says on page 16, okay, I am quoting in red, okay, before standard time was introduced, even when our watches show correct time, brackets agreeing with the local time, yet the information given to the interested parties after birth of the child by the attendants differ one from the other, because the medical attendants are anxious to do their jobs than to note the time. A few give time of Siras Uday. Forget that, when the head comes out first, and there are various, when a child is born, which is to be taken. That itself is a big controversy, which still actually exists. Okay, when the baby cries, or when what is the exact time of birth? Okay, so that controversy still rages. Do that. A few note the time when the whole body of the child has been removed from that of the mother. There are instances when the midwife gave a time, the nurse mentioned another, whereas the lady doctor differed from both of them. When such is the case, which time can we take, even though the clock shows the IST, that is Indian Standard Time, correctly? Hence, the time of birth in most cases are not this. I don't know this. This app thing has come here. So in most cases are not correct at all, unquote. Okay.
Yes, sir.
From the foregoing, it is evident that the great Krishnamurti KSK had reasons to believe that time of birth noted for many horoscopes was subject to doubt as to their correctness.
Yes,
He
sir.
therefore devised this unique system of horary astrology, okay, which is today acknowledged world over as the most accurate paddhati or system of Prashna Jyotish. Prashna is question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, now we go into the background. This we've already done.
Yes,
I've already explained to you. We all know the sublord theory of KP. Okay. This we've studied, no? The sublord theory.
Yes, sir.
We have studied. We all know the sublord theory of KP, wherein the zodiac has been divided into 249 subs, with each sub having a sublord. Okay. KP horary is based on this sublord theory. Okay. Like the ruling planet theory, we'll study what the ruling planet theory is. Okay. Like the ruling planet theory, this is also a divine science and works accurately provided all rules are followed and the astrologer is adept in making predictions based on KP rules. Okay. So now how do we go about? Okay. Now how to ask the question and prepare the horary chart. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Ask the querent, that is the person asking the question, for a number between 1 to 249. Now, this theory actually, it is, we don't question it because this is something divine.
Okay.
249 subs. Okay, each sub has a sublord. How these subs have been divided, I've already taught you. So you'll have to go back to one of the classes and listen to the recording.
Yes, sir.
How the whole zodiac is divided into unequal subs. Okay, unequal subs as per their dasha periods. Okay, so ask the querent, the person asking the question, for a number between 1 to 249 with the particular question in mind. Okay. Now, suppose you want to ask me a question. Suppose you want to ask me, when will I get a job? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I will tell you, okay, now you have this question in mind. You give me a number between 1 to 249. Whichever number is coming to your mind right now. Right now, when the question is really, bothering you or pressing you, that is the time when you have to give the number to the astrologer. Okay. Okay. Now, number 2, prepare a horary chart for the number given by him, her, by going to the horary option in the True Astrology software. There is a horary option. Okay. Okay. Software or whichever other software that you may be using. Okay. Now, ready-made tables are available. You give number 7, you get a horoscope for that. Okay. For the time. Okay. You get a horoscope for that. Use only KP, New and AMSA option. Okay. This I've already told you. Okay. The chart will appear in front of you once you have fed all the data required. What is the data required? Name of the person. Okay. You note down the question and the number it gives you. Okay. You can start making predictions with the guidelines / rules as enumerated below. Okay. Now, how to go about predicting? The rules are given below. Okay. Now, rules, guidelines pertaining to horary predictions. The general rules for predicting events / incidents are the same for horary as they are for natal charts. Okay. I've already sent you all the write-ups.
Yes, sir.
You'll find that, the combination of houses for, like for marriage, it is 2, 7, 11. That chart I've already sent you. You must be having it. Okay. The general rules for those are the rules. The general rules for predicting events, incidents are the same for horary as they are for natal charts. Okay. For example, the question, when will I get married? You have to judge the 7th cuspal sublord, 7th CSL, and the significators for marriage as you would in any natal chart. Rules are the same. Okay. Similarly, for any other question, the same combinations that you judge in a natal chart are to be judged or analyzed. Okay. Peter, you just shift a bit because you're out of the screen. Just shift to your right. Yeah. Okay. Number 2, the major difference between a horary and a natal chart vis-a-vis judgment / analysis is regarding retrograde planets. Okay. I'll discuss about this. Okay. Retrograde planets. You'll see in brackets written R. R means when a planet, is retrograding, it is going backwards. Although that is only an optical illusion. Okay, it is a part of astronomy. It is only an optical illusion. So Krishnamurti said, now I'll read on. In a natal chart, retrograde planets do not have any. They don't matter. Okay, you just ignore. In natal charts, retrograde planets are to be ignored. We do not have any impact on the outcome of the result, or do not have any effect on the result or promise of the event being judged. Okay, in a horary chart, retrograde or vakriya, in Hindi, retrograde planets are vakriya. Planets, as they are called in Hindi, do have an impact on the result. Okay. There are 2 main rules pertaining to retrograde planets in horary astrology. Number 1, if the cuspal sublord of the primary cusp in question is a retrograde planet and is signifying and promising an event, the event will not take place till the planet comes back to direct motion. Okay. Number 2, if the cuspal sublord of the primary cusp in question is a planet which is sitting in the star of a planet which is retrograde, then the event being judged will not materialize at all. Okay. Now, to understand this, I'm giving an examples, and to understand this. Suppose, number one, we are judging the event of marriage. So the primary cusp for marriage is the seventh cusp. Okay. So what is the rule now? If the seventh cuspal sublord is promising marriage but is retrograde, okay, marriage will not take place till this sublord comes back into direct motion. See, all planets, but for sun, moon, Rahu, Ketu, okay, they retrograde. You will get it in the ephemeris from time to time. The periods for how long they are retrograde, is given. You'll find it. There'll be you must have observed that at times, there'll be R written in bracket in front of a planet.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means retrograde. Okay, so if the seventh cuspal sublord, when you are making the judgment, is retrograde, then marriage will not take place till the seventh cuspal sublord gets back to normal forward motion. Okay. Number two, if this same cuspal sublord is sitting in the star or nakshatra of a planet which is in retrograde motion, then marriage will not take place at all. Please note that there are one or two exceptions to this rule, which we will discuss later. Okay. This rule that Krishnamurti ji had, invented, this does not always hold good. Okay. So I have that reservation. Anyway, we'll discuss that later. Similar rules to be followed for most predictions. But number 4, even significator planets will generally not give results till they are retrograde. That is, till they do not come back to direct motion. So in short, in horary astrology, retrograde planets, if they appear, say, suppose, some major planets like Jupiter, Saturn, 2-3 planets are retrograde when you're making the judgment, then the chances of that, chances of that event happening or a positive result becomes remote. Well, we'll put it that way. Okay. So number 5, the use of ruling planets is more in horary astrology than in natal astrology. We'll come to ruling planets. Okay. So for today, we'll just concentrate on this. What ruling planets are in KP, we'll come to that. Number 6, time and place of judgment. Okay. Place of judgment is where the astrologer is, not from where the person is asking the question. The latitude and the longitude. Suppose you ask me a question, then the latitude and longitude of Ranchi, the place that I'm sitting here in India, will be taken. Not the latitude and longitude of Bangkok. Okay. So that is important. Place of judgment is where the astrologer is, and time of judgment is when the astrologer wishes and starts to judge or analyze, not the time when the question is asked. Okay. So it is at the sweet will of the astrologer. That does not mean that somebody asked you a question today and you ignore it for 6 months. No, within a reasonable time, 2-3 days, 4 days, 5 days. So that is the time. See, this is like the question is like the birth of the child. Okay. The child in this case is the question. So time of birth, place of birth is where of the child in this case is where the astrologer is sitting. Okay. And the time when the astrologer starts judging the question. That is the time of birth of the question child. Okay. Okay. Suppose a question is asked to the astrologer at Delhi by phone from Kolkata, and the astrologer wishes to judge it at Kolkata, then place of judgment will be Kolkata. And suppose the astrologer is traveling to Chennai and wishes to judge the question when he arrives at Chennai, then the place of judgment becomes Chennai. Okay. The question may be asked at any time, but the time of judgment will be the time when the astrologer wishes or decides to judge or analyze it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Number 7, then some general rules. Nobody should ask you a question to judge you as an astrologer. No. If there's no seriousness in the question, don't answer it, or your answer will be wrong.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The question must be asked in all seriousness. Do not reply to questions or judge them if you feel the querent is not serious or is testing your skills or abilities as an astrologer. Okay. Judge the question as and when you feel like judging it with a free and unbiased mind. This is very important. Okay. Number 9, whether query is genuine. This is another very important thing. First of all, we have to see whether the question asked, the person is serious or not. We have that also for that. Whether query is genuine, position and significations of the moon. The moon represents the mind. Okay. So, to check the genuineness of the query, check the signification of the moon in the horary chart. If moon signifies the question asked, the query can be taken as genuine and the astrologer can proceed with the analysis. Okay, now for marriage, when the question is asked, that time the moon should be connected, 2, 2, 7, 11, the marriage giving houses or planets, something like that. Moon has. So that means you can say, okay, he's serious in what he or she is asking. I'll go ahead with the judgment.
Yes, sir.
If moon is not at all connected with the question, the querent is not serious about his question and the astrologer should not judge it. Okay. Number 10, promise of the event, whether negative or positive. Whether what you're going to judge, whether the event or the incident will take place, fructify or not. That is the second stage. Okay. Promise of the event, whether negative or positive. Importance of 11th house in the horary charts. Okay. To judge whether the question asked or the event in question will take place or not, judge the significations of the 11th cuspal sublord. Why? Because 11th cuspal sublord is fulfillment of wishes. Judge the significations of the 11th cuspal sublord or connection of the significators with the 11th cusp. Okay. If the 11th cusp is strong, oblique connected to the event giving houses / planets, the event or the question would generally indicate a positive outcome. Generally. In cases where you have any doubts as to whether a significator indicating both negative and positive result will give positive or negative outcome, check the signification of the 11th cuspal sublord. If this is positive, generally the outcome of the wishes are fulfilled. Okay. If this is positive, generally the outcome of wishes are fulfilled. If 11th signifies negative results, in such borderline cases, the outcome would generally be negative. So when in doubt, when you're finding it difficult to decide, the result could go either way, positive or negative, then see the significations of the 11th cuspal sublord. 11th cuspal sublord plays a very important part in KP astrology, both in the natal. As I have told you in Vedic astrology also, I consider the 11th house as the most important house in the horoscope.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you don't have a strong, good 11th house, then your life will not be very smooth, as it should be. Okay. So, to understand this, assume that in a horary chart, any planet, say X, is signifying both 6th and 7th houses in a marriage-related query. In such a case, because 6th denies marriage, 7th gives marriage. So if the significator is signifying both 6th and 7th houses in a marriage-related query, in such a case, if the 11th cuspal sublord is showing positive connections, the answer would be generally on the positive side. Even if the 11th cuspal sublord is only connected with only the 11th house in a query, and the astrologer has such a doubt, the outcome would generally be positive. Okay. Number 11. In horary, it is important for the Lagna also to be strong. For the Lagna to be strong, for any house to be strong, the cuspal sublord of that particular house should be signifying, good and positive houses. Or the result-giving houses. So Lagna also has to be judged. Because Lagna, as I have told you earlier in Vedic also, it is like the engine of a train. Okay.
Yes, sir.
The train is powered by the engine. So if the engine is weak, the train it will not be able to pull the train smoothly to its destination. So the Lagna and the 11th house. Okay. Number 12, significators of the event giving houses will only give the event during their dasha combinations. The same the general rule. If you are using ruling planets, the significator should also be a RP, ruling planet. You have to decide whether you are going to use ruling planets or not, or when you are going to use ruling planets. We'll discuss later. Okay, ruling planets. So this is how we go about, this is how we go about judging a horary question. I have told you the rules because, when now we can proceed simultaneously. We can discuss natal charts as well as we can discuss horary questions. Okay. So, okay, let's see. I'll any questions? Tell me.
No, that's okay, sir.
Yeah.
No questions, sir.
No question. Okay.
Yeah.
I've opened the chart. Can you see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now Peter, suppose how do we go about preparing a Horary chart? See now, see on the left side here on top, left side, see the cursor. N means natal chart. When you want to prepare a natal chart, you go to N. H means Horary chart. Okay, so I am clicking on H. It's a bit slow because I don't know why it's not responding. Okay, it's a bit slow. Oh, can you see this now? Okay, now name. Suppose somebody has asked you a Horary question. Suppose name, okay? The name I can type Peter, okay?
Yes, sir.
Male. Category, you can make your categories. Suppose you, whatever, suppose you have asked, suppose Peter asked a question on
Profession, career.
competitive exams or childbirth. So let's see childbirth, okay? Okay, today's date is given here. Okay, time is given here. Everything is there, okay? We have to put the
Place.
Okay, we'll put, see, chart type Horary.
Mhm.
There'll be two given here. One will be Horary 1 to 2,193G. Ignore that. You take
Yes, sir.
Horary 1 to 249. Okay.
Yep. Mhm.
Horary number, whatever Horary number, suppose you're giving 77. We put this here.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Mhm.
Or if you want, you can generate a random number also.
Mhm.
If the customer says, okay, let's generate a random number. So, and after this, we'll take, I don't know why this, so, something wrong. What time correction? I don't know why this place of birth, it's not taking, something wrong. Something wrong with my system now. I'm going to change my computer next month.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, you see here, I don't know, maybe along with all this, it's not working. So here you put the time of birth. You know how to make charts, no?
Yes, sir.
In true astrology.
Yep.
So you just type the, here it's not taking. I don't know why it's not taking. Something wrong. Let me try once more. I'll close this and take it again. Okay, now I'll take Peter. Okay, childbirth, Horary number 77. Something wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's not along with the other programs going on, along with Zoom. Maybe it's not responding. But anyway, what you have to do is you have to put the place of birth here. Okay, place of birth. When you put a few initials, suppose you put Bangkok, BANG, all the, they'll come here.
Yes,
And
sir.
on the blue one, Bangkok, you double click and your chart will be ready. Okay, then you click on OK and then you can proceed.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, there's something wrong. I'll have to. And then, you can make the predictions.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
For making the predictions here, house-wise significators are given.
Mhm.
And here the sublot tables are given. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for 7th house sublot, you see Venus.
Mhm.
You see whether any of the planets are retrograde.
Mhm.
I don't see any of the planets being retrograde. From here, you can make out. From here, left side, if any planet is retrograde, R will be written in front back bracket. Okay. So none of them are retrograde. Then you go to the relevant 7th house. That we'll see by examples.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That we'll see by examples.
Mhm.
So the concept is clear, no?
Yes, sir.
Now we'll start judging. Next class,
Mhm.
we'll do the ruling planets first.
Yes, sir. Okay.
I'll explain to you what ruling planets are. Okay. And
Yes,
then
sir.
we'll go ahead, we'll start the predictions, both in natal as well as horary.
Yeah.
Topic wise, like we did longevity, then we'll do marriage and then childbirth, career, like Vedic only.
Yep.
We'll go ahead topic wise. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yep. Mhm.
So I think for today, I'll leave it here.
Yes, sir. Okay. No
Okay.
problem. Yep. Mhm.
So yeah, so see you on Friday.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Namaste, sir.
I'm feeling okay. I mean, no, thank you. I'm sorry, it took. I'm sorry for this.
I have my parents' issue too.
No, I know. Okay. I'm stopping the recording. Okay.
Yes, sir.